In this video, I'm going to reveal 6 reasons why you absolutely must stop with the perfectionism. You have to stop making every little thing perfect, because that perfectionism is going to kill your dreams, kill your career, just suck the life out of you from the inside. This was supposed to be a different video to kick off this series, but this is the video it has to be. So let's do this. Hello, my creative friends. If you're ready to stop writing for your bookshelf and start writing for production, make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap that bell, and do not miss a thing, because you never know which one of these videos will hold that one key that helps you break through. Now, look, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you see that the lighting's different, the lens is different, the colors are different. My goal was to launch an entirely different kind of series, one that was very polished, one that was very refined. Here's the problem. We're in the middle of this pandemic, and I have a toddler running around at home, and I have a partner who's home full-time, and so I don't have my days anymore. I had these little slivers of time. Trying to make something truly extraordinary, polished, next level, it just turned out to be more or less impossible. I would chip away a little piece of it, and then my time would end, and the thing that I had in my mind, that perfect vision of what I wanted to make to give to you, it just never really worked out, and it made it very frustrating. So gradually, as time went on, the frustration would mount. And you get into this place where the longer you go, the harder it is to actually do the thing that you've set out to do. And it occurred to me a few days ago that there is a more perfect version of this video that you're watching right now here in my imagination. But if I take the time to make that video, you're not going to be able to see the next 8 videos in this series, because I'm not going to have the time to make them. So let's focus on the 6 reasons you absolutely must stop trying to make it perfect. Reason number 1, perfectionism wastes time. I spend so much time trying to meticulously craft every single thing in what will now be the next episode. The time it takes to flesh it out, to make the words flow, and to make sure the segues move into the next reason. It's unnecessary time. A video like this, you want the tips, you want the suggestions, you want the reasons. And so you're going to watch the video for that. For me to try to refine and perfect every little word and make sure that the subtleties and the nuances are flawless. The problem is it's an unnecessary layer of effort and energy that goes into it. That time, in this case, would be better spent making an extra video. Now, obviously that's a little different to screenwriting, because you do want your screenplay to be word perfect. You do want your story to be more or less flawless, but you have to know where to focus your time. When you sit down to type those words out on the page, they're not going to come out perfectly. Even trying to make them perfect is going to slow you down, is going to waste your time. It's about making it the very best you possibly can today, right now, and then going back and refining it later if you must. Now, focusing on quality and making it the very best you can at whatever level you're currently at, that is something that you not only should do, but must do. The difference is, however good you can make it today is different to focusing on how to make this page or this word or this character nuance perfect. That perfection is a big waste of time, which kind of ties into reason number 2, which is that perfectionism limits your output. If I focus on making this episode perfect, every little flaw or perceived flaw along the way is something I'm going to want to invest time to fix. If I only have slivers of time, let's say an hour and a half each day, because I've got a toddler running around, if I pour all my attention and energy into making every little detail and nuance perfect, well, I've chewed up that limited amount of time for the day, and I no longer have that time to pour into the next thing. If you imagine that you only have a limited number of years on this earth, and you want to write movies or television or write novels or do any sort of creative pursuit, you have a finite amount of time to do everything you're ever going to do. We don't actually know how much time we have left. And if you spend all your time trying to make the whatever it is you're working on right now perfect, you leave no room to say all the other things that you have to say. And it makes the thing you're working on right now all the more necessary to be extraordinary. Perfectionism begets perfectionism. The more perfect you need to make it, the longer it will take, the less output you'll be able to create, the more perfect this has to be. If instead you focus on making it the best you can make it to your current ability and then keep moving forward, the more room you give yourself to create more. And that leads me into reason number 3, which is that perfection is relative. And because it's relative, it is entirely unattainable. What I think is perfect and what you think is perfect can be two very different things. If you go on to IMDb right now and you look at the reviews for your favorite film of all time, there is someone there scathingly, viciously ripping it apart. Similarly, if you go to a movie that you think is the worst film ever made, there's somebody on there who just adores that film, who has found something in it that makes them love it. How can you say that something is perfect for both of those people? It's not possible. Similarly, whatever you're working on right now, the thing that's going to make it perfect or the thing that makes it imperfect may be completely inverse to another person. Even if you look at it again with fresh eyes tomorrow, you may see some perfection in the imperfection or some imperfection in what you thought today was perfect. As we move through life, we see and experience different things. We have different moods each day. We wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or someone looks at us funny on our way to get coffee in the morning, and it throws us off entirely. If you look at that same thing you're working on today with that other set of eyes, the other mood, the other perspective, it's going to change how you see and think about and perceive that thing. The thing that you thought was perfect is now no longer perfect. So it becomes this hamster wheel of trying to reach for this thing that you will never get your hands around. Now, reason number 4 is that improvement is iterative. All the time that you spent trying to make something perfect is time you're taking away from your ability to fail. Failure is necessary for improvement. The very first screenplay most writers write is something that they later look back on and remember how brilliant they thought it was, but marvel at just how incredibly bad they now think it is. And the reason isn't so much that they were deluded earlier. The things you learn along the way become the things you apply to the next project. So your first screenplay will never be your best screenplay. Your second screenplay will not be your best screenplay, but the process of writing both of them gives you ideas and skills. You learn what works, what doesn't work, what people respond to, what they absolutely don't respond to. And you can take those insights and apply them to your next project. So as long as you're being objective and as long as you're really trying to do the very best you can at this level that you're at right now today, you're going to continuously improve. But that improvement is iterative. So every screenplay you write over a span of years is going to get better and better and better each time. By focusing on improvement rather than perfection, you're going to give yourself the ability to do the work that develops those skills. Now, along the same lines is reason number 5. Perfection is not the same thing as quality. Perfection is the state of not having any errors or mistakes, the state of being flawless. Quality is a relative standard. Relative to other things of the same type, this one is of a higher standard of measure. When it comes to creative endeavors, when it comes to writing movies or creating screenplays, the pursuit of quality is kind of an arbitrary thing. For you to focus on quality while you're creating something is to put your brain in the headspace of a judgment aesthetic. When you're creating, the goal should simply be about trying to create the most effective piece of entertainment, the most effective story, the most effective wordsmithing and quality that you can for where you're at. Perfection and quality are simply not the same thing. I don't believe you should focus on either one of these things while you're creating your work. But if you're going to focus on one over the other, focus on making it the best you can make it right now and leave perfectionism where it deserves to be, which is off in fairyland. Oh, God. Now, reason number 6 of why you have to stop being such a perfectionist is because perfectionism is all about the ego. Perfectionism isn't about the thing you're creating. Perfectionism is about you, your desire to be great or to not be terrible. It's introspective, navel-gazing, self-centered. When I started thinking about this series here, why did I want every little thing to be perfect? I wanted every little thing to be perfect so that when you were watching it, yes, you got all that value out of it, but you also thought very highly of me. That's an ego-driven thing. That's a concern you just don't have. You don't care what I look like right now. You don't care how pretty the frame is. You don't care about how perfect I perceive this to be. You care about the experience that I'm giving you, the knowledge that I'm passing along, the tips or the insights or the help, and how it's going to help your career, how it's going to help your writing and your creativity. As the creator in this situation, what I need to do, which is the same thing I'm suggesting you do in your own work, is spin it around. Make it about the other person. If I center my focus on you and on what you're going to take away from this video, this is no longer about how perfect it is. It's about how effectively am I getting across to you the things that I'm trying to convey to you, the things that I believe are going to get you further in your journey. Now, if you're creating a screenplay or a TV show or a novel or something creative like that, you're doing so as part of an implicit exchange between you and your audience. When you write a movie, your whole purpose is to give that person sitting in that cinema or sitting on their couch watching the big screen because they're still in quarantine, giving that person the experience that your movie is going to give them. When you focus on perfectionism, you're focusing on the creator side of the equation. You're focusing on how you look, on how your words sound, on how your ideas come across to the other person. Shifting that focus from your own ego to the needs and wants and desires and aesthetic sensibilities of the viewer will strip away all need for perfection. It doesn't matter if I flub a line here. It doesn't matter if I'm not looking perfect today. Are you getting these ideas? Are you able to internalize these ideas? Are you able to take these ideas and go, wow, I'm going to go out and do some writing today? If that's your takeaway from it, well, then I've achieved my job, and it really doesn't matter what flaws there are in the video that I've created because it serves its ultimate goal, which is the audience experience. Now, when I decided to put together this Series 6, I put a little plus on the 6. I believe that to truly give the audience an extraordinary audience experience, you need to not only match their expectations, you need to exceed those expectations. And so what I've decided with Series 6 is that every time I have 6 reasons to whatever, 6 tips for whatever, I'm also always going to include a bonus. So since you've stayed with me this long, you now know that each one of these videos is going to have a bonus. So what I want to talk about right now is that perfectionism is stupid because it doesn't matter anyway. If screenwriters focus on the right things as they go through this journey of turning their ideas into compelling and viable screenplays, it doesn't matter if you succeed with the screenplay that you're working on right now. I know you're passionate about it. I know it means the world to you. I know it's the only thing that you care about and have focused on for the past 3 years. I get that. But if you don't succeed with it, it doesn't really matter if your focus is in the right place. If you're focused on continuous improvement, if you're focused on getting better with each new project, if you're focused on making it the very best you can make it at this point in time, whatever it turns out to be, this one is going to lead you to an even greater level of skill, even better ultimate results, and get you even closer to your ultimate goal with the next project that you create. Where you think you are right now today is not even a fraction of the way of where you will be if you keep taking action and keep moving forward through this process. I'd really like to go a little bit deeper into this idea in the next video. So in the next video in this series, I'm going to reveal 6 reasons why absolutely everyone should learn screenwriting, even if they have no interest in Hollywood, no interest in writing, no interest in being creative for a living. That's the next episode of this series, which was going to be the first episode of this series until I decided perfectionism is for the birds. Join me in taking this whole perfectionism thing and chucking it out the window so that we can actually get something accomplished. I hope you like this new series. Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button if you do like it. Make sure you stay subscribed. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.